What's up, YouTube? How's it going? I hope you had a wonderful weekend and a happy Easter. And I wish you guys also another wonderful week. And let's get going. For this video, I'm gonna talk about how Rockstar could expand on GTA 6's map and show you how another game also pulled off a map expansion pretty successfully. So, Jason Schreier, a reputable journalist from Bloomberg, has mentioned in one of his articles that he believes the game will expand over time. Of course, this is all still speculation, but Jason is probably the best source for GTA 6 after Rockstar. The community itself has also made comparisons to Fortnite's evolving map, and I bring a suggestion on how this could be pulled off. Ladies and gentlemen, enter the Crew Motorfest. For those not familiar, this is an open-world racing game made by Ubisoft Ivory Tower. Now, I know Ubisoft has been taking nothing but L's recently, but this is probably their only good game that's left and not in decay. So what does any of this have to do with GTA? Well, to answer you, in November 2024, Ubisoft announced a major update which included the map expansion for the game. This also brought in a selection of multiple vehicles of all kinds, but the major focus here was the map itself. So the game is set in Hawaii. When the game itself launched, it was only set in the island of Oahu. Before the major update, we could see the island of Maui in the distance, but we couldn't go there. However, the update in November brought in the island of Maui, and they linked both islands with a set of bridges and smaller islands in between. And this expanded the playable area itself. And the new island is also just as detailed, taking full advantage of the power of modern gaming rigs. And no matter how you feel about Ubisoft, this was properly made and implemented. And it's a really good example of how to pull off a map expansion, and how Rockstar could potentially bring in Bahamas, Cuba, Dominican Republic, or maybe even Liberty City in the north if they want to bring in states as islands. We know the game is going to have a lot of details, so maybe they can just make the distance between islands long enough to unload one map and just load the other, at least when we're far away enough, as opposed to making them so close to each other that you would complicate things, and close enough to make a bridge between them. But now that would be convenient for cars and their drivers, but it wouldn't make much sense. Now, this would force players to go with a plane or a boat without making the player feel like they're being forced. It's just natural and how it is in real life. A bridge connecting you from Florida to Cuba doesn't exist. Conveniently, this would open space for features like the fast travel in GTA San Andreas, where you could go to the airport and pay for a flight and you would just spawn in the city that you picked, giving the players the choice whether they want to make the trip themselves or pay a sum of money to just skip it. Because fast travel has become something more critical the bigger the games are, and not everyone has the time to make the trip themselves when they're playing. Because you could be playing after a long day of work or just school and you don't want to deal with any of that, so it's something really essential to have. Another way they can pull this off is how the Liberty City Preservation Project team did. So basically what they did is you had the choice of going to the airport and paying a ticket, just like I explained, but also you could fly there yourself, but you had a waypoint somewhere on the map that would teleport you to the other location, to the other map, which is another very smart way to pull off a map expansion. What disappointed me about Cayo Perico in GTA Online is that you couldn't fly there yourself, but also it's a very small place and you're confined to a very small area to explore, and you can only really explore the rest when you're pulling off heists. So the whole thing doesn't even end up feeling like a proper map expansion, because it really isn't. And many other people also share the same sentiment, but let me know if you agree or disagree. And it's okay if we do disagree, because we can have different opinions, and that's completely fine. Now, if they had brought in the Liberty City DLC like it was originally planned, it would have been absolutely fantastic. Because GTA 5's map really suffers from having just Los Santos as the only city, and unfortunately we couldn't see San Fierro at the very least, because of limitations of the 7th generation of consoles at the time, that is, the PS3 and the Xbox 360. But all of this is, of course, assuming the map will be an island, because according to the mapping project, it is portrayed as an island, and the northern part of the map, including the panhandle, is highly speculative. And we don't know if it's gonna be a coastline or linked to another state like Georgia, because from what we saw in the leaks and also the trailer, the northern part seems to have a lot of hills and mountains. But that also doesn't say that much because GTA 5 also has Mount Chiliad really close to Paleto Bay and it's pretty much a coast. It would be very cool if it actually has the state of Georgia in the north and you can just maybe off-road with a car up there. And even if we don't have the state of Georgia on launch, it can hopefully be a map expansion someday. Hopefully we'll know sooner rather than later, and maybe trailer 2 will give us a hint, or Rockstar gives us a tease of the map. I know whatever we get, the team of the mapping project will even find a needle in a haystack if they have to. Shout out to the mapping project community, and let's hope trailer 2 comes soon. I would really like to know your opinions and what other ideas you guys might have for a potential map expansion, so make sure you leave a like and a comment so we can discuss it down in the comment section. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and I'll see you guys on the next video, and peace be with you.